From the outside, it's a 50-story mass of raw concrete rising in the middle of a city that never stops moving. No windows, no lights, no signs of life. To a curious traveler, it's one of the greatest mysteries on Earth. But this isn't an abandoned fortress. It's humanity's technological answer to the food crisis, a vertical farming skyscraper. And yet, it's not just a factory. It's a vast system, Fallout-like in spirit, where every floor operates under a different physical rule. Maybe one day you won't be able to resist it. Maybe you'll find yourself at those sealed doors and you'll decide to slip inside. And that's when you begin to understand why surviving at the very center of abundance is almost impossible. So come with me. Let's infiltrate this technological labyrinth from the lowest level and step between the gears of this enormous machine. Because at street level, there is no entrance. Your curiosity pulls you underground, 15 meters below the surface, into the darkness of the city's logistics tunnels. And there, you find the only access point, a single gate protected by a high-pressure airlock. Heavy metal doors, fully sealed, and the moment they open, the building's sterile air blasts outward, violent, forceful, a mechanical shield designed to stop even one living organism from slipping inside. You fight your way through, and the instant you do, the doors slam shut behind you, locked. No return. Your connection to the outside world is gone, and you are now standing inside an artificial atmosphere, in a place that was never designed for humans. This first zone you entered is the building's resource core, its stomach, and its power plant. Level 1 is a colossal recycling facility connected directly to the city's wastewater lines. Level 2 is the generator deck, where methane is converted into electricity. On Level 3, water is purified at a molecular scale in sterilization pools. And Levels 4 and 5 are packaging and automated shipping ports, industrial docks that never sleep. Moving between these sections isn't a matter of walking upstairs. Access is controlled through gigantic cylindrical metal shafts rising through the center of the structure, and the kilometers of cold industrial corridors branching off from them. Everything here is mechanical, every surface is hostile. There isn't a single square centimeter where a person could truly rest or feel safe. And once you climb above the surface line, the production zones begin. But you immediately notice something wrong. These floors don't recognize human ergonomics at all. The crops aren't at ground level. They grow inside sealed glass chambers mounted 5 to 6 meters above you, suspended along ceiling rails like unreachable aquariums of green. There are no ladders, no stairs, no handholds, nothing. You can only look up and watch abundance hovering beyond your reach. At level 10, you open a door in the central shaft, and it's not white light that greets you. It's a brutal collision of deep red and electric blue, so intense it stings your eyes. In vertical farming, white light is a luxury. Plants don't need it. They thrive on these two wavelengths, so the air looks like you're walking through a purple-pink fog. A neon haze that isn't beautiful. It's predatory. As you move through the long corridors under this radiation, the price of your curiosity begins to come due. The glare is so extreme that your retinas overload within minutes. In the first 15 minutes, the edges of objects begin to smear. By 30 minutes, permanent black spots appear in the center of your vision, and when you finally escape the light and climb toward level 15, a new kind of violence starts. The architecture becomes suffocating. The service routes are so narrow they're not corridors at all. They're voids, 20 centimeters wide. Slits meant only for thin robotic arms to slide through. You can't enter. You can't squeeze between the lines. You stand at the mouth of these metallic throats, trapped outside the system, while above you, in unreachable chambers and sealed gaps, tons of food ripen in silence. The building is overflowing with life, but it is engineered to keep you completely excluded from it. At level 21, you step out of the central cylinder, and the corridors answer you with a high-frequency hum. Not loud in the usual way. This sound doesn't just enter your ears, it enters your body. This is the sonic stimulation floor. Here, the goal is to force plant stomata to open wider, maximizing nutrient uptake. For the plants, it's growth doping. For a human, it's physical collapse. As you walk through the long galleries, the pressure waves churn the fluid in your inner ear. Within minutes, your sense of balance disintegrates. It feels like the ceiling and the floor are swapping places, and the vibration is so dense, you realize you're not only hearing it. Your lungs are trembling with it. Your teeth are trembling with it. Halfway down the corridor, nausea hits like a blunt object. And above level 30, things get worse, because the protective glass is gone, the production lines are fully exposed. But this is not freedom. This is the building's defense system. Autonomous pruning robots race along ceiling rails, silent, fast, moving at several meters per second, like predatory insects. These machines don't just harvest fruit. They carry high-temperature lasers and spinning steel blades sharp enough to cut like scalpels. The system constantly scans plant geometry, and it flags anything that doesn't belong. So if hunger drives you to reach for a cluster of grapes, the sensors don't register a starving person, they register a parasite, a foreign object threatening plant health, and the correction is immediate. Even the way food moves here is a warning. The moment a fruit is cut, it's vacuum-pulled into transparent glass tubes. You watch produce rocket through the tubes above your head, so fast it feels unreal. Light-speed abundance, passing right over you. Untouchable. When you force open the heavy sealed door at level 31, the second you step inside, breathing becomes work. Physical work. This is the gas manipulation zone, where shelf life and growth speed are controlled by atmosphere. In some galleries, the system floods the air with oxygen to push photosynthesis to extremes. The concentration climbs above 35%. For the human body, that's oxygen toxicity. In other galleries, the protocol flips. To prevent fruit from spoiling on the vine, oxygen is stripped away completely and replaced with pure nitrogen. You open the door, and you see the most perfect vegetable garden you've ever witnessed. Bright, flawless, alive. But the moment you step in, you don't inhale air. You inhale nitrogen, gas that doesn't just deny oxygen, it pulls the oxygen out of you. Within seconds, your vision narrows, your body loses command, and you collapse, in the center of paradise, because there is nothing to breathe. As you climb closer to the summit, frost begins to form on the metal stairs. A thin crust of ice, like the building is exhaling cold. This is the freezer zone, dedicated to cold climate crops and seed banks, a constant -15 degrees Celsius. The instant you open the door, the freezing air collides with the warmer humidity behind you, and a dense fog erupts, swallowing your sight. Here, plants survive with special antifreeze solutions injected into their root systems. But for you, it's a trap. Food is everywhere, yet the cold stands between you and it, like a solid wall. And then, there is one flaw the system doesn't advertise, the most mysterious, the most lethal. You step in and realize it's pitch black, but darkness isn't the true danger. The true danger is what's growing inside it. Millions of mushrooms, a heavy biological stench, and in the air, a fog of lethal spores. This is not a place a human can breathe. Every unmasked inhale fills your lungs with microscopic fungal seeds. And the sensation isn't infection, it's drowning. Not in water, in life. And if you lose consciousness and fall, the autonomous harvesters in the dark don't treat you as a person. They treat you as organic mass, a resource to be recycled. They lift you gently and feed you into the compost grinder to nourish the next crop. At some point you might ask, why doesn't anyone see me? Why isn't anyone coming? Because this building is a dark factory. There are no guards, no staff, no humans inside. Everything is operated by robotic avatars and artificial intelligence, from a control center located kilometers away. Even if a camera captures you, the system may not label you as human. To the machine, you are more likely an image processing anomaly, or biological contamination that slipped past protocols. So now the question becomes, how do you get out? If it were me, I wouldn't keep climbing. I'd stop chasing the unreachable food above, and I'd head for the heart of the building, the underground logistics exit. Because the autonomous shipping ports on level 5 maintain a one-way flow outward. This is where fruit packages arriving via vacuum tubes are loaded into self-driving trucks. Those outbound doors, designed for cargo, are the closest point to the outside world, the weakest point, the only place where the machine must open itself to deliver. Yes, this vertical farm is a showcase of abundance, but inside that showcase, there is no place for a person. When abundance is no longer a right, but an access credential, then starving to death in a building full of food stops being just fiction. It becomes a technical possibility. So what about you? If you were trapped on the 30th floor between autonomous blades and fruit flying through glass tubes, would you hide in the pitch-black spore-choked fungus level? Or would you gamble, like I would, on the underground shipping rails? Maybe you believe you could build a new life in the harvest darkness, with only a flashlight. Just remember, this dystopian scenario isn't entirely imaginary. Controlled environment agriculture, automated harvesting, and soilless vertical production are already real. Similar principles are used today, in space-focused research and closed systems, in underground facilities in Japan, and in land-limited countries like Singapore. So tell me in the comments, which route would you take? Keep your eyes open, keep your mind awake. And in our next deep dive, I'll see you inside the machine. Stay curious,